Welcome back, everybody. We are live in our downtown Providence studio with our third guest today, Cathy Plourde from Rhode Island Spirits. Cathy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Talk about the sixth distillery that Rhode Island has ever seen as of yet. So that is really exciting, and congratulations.
Thank you. We are excited to open next week, and we're probably one of the few people that found the government shutdown a little helpful because it gave us a little pause and breathing space, but it held up our labeling because we couldn't get our formulas yet approved, and you need a human being at the other end of the line to do that.
Yes, you do need a human being. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
So, Cathy, you and your wife, Kara, started this company, officially started distilling back in January, which was only a few months ago, right? Or?
Yep. We got this idea about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. We got serious about it and started doing the numbers, and it sort of launched out of some time that we spent in England. We were in England for a couple years and just watched the gin craze go vertical.
Oh yeah,
which
people
was
love their
super
gin
cool.
in England.
They do, and it's craft and it's interesting and it's flavor, it's local, it's a mix of botanicals. Yeah. There's always something cool that you can find in gin.
Of course.
And if you're going to make your own gin, you might as well make your own vodka too. So
similar spirit.
That's what we're doing.
To start with, yeah. Well, I think gin is almost like the next tequila, because tequila went from being Jose Cuervo, at least the only thing you could find at a bar, and now there's 15 kinds that you can find at most bars. And the same with gin. Everybody thought of gin as the pine tree liquor.
Yeah, or your uncle's nasty stuff that was warm at the bottom of the back of the liquor
big green
cupboard.
jug.
No, bad. This is not what we're after.
No, it's not your grandpa's gin.
No, there's a place in the world for that, but no, that's not what we're after. Yep, we really went Rhode Island local, Rhode Island botanical forward as much as possible. So I've actually got a few things if you want to try them.
I would love to try them all,
right.
absolutely.
So
tell me what you have, these two bottles, and then tell me what you brought in the little vials.
Sure, so our brand name is Rhodium, and we will have a flagship vodka and a gin at all times.
And these are
once
those right
we
here?
get all started. Yes, no, we will have, actually you're missing a fourth one right here. Of that, so we've got a pink gin, which is not sweet. We have a vodka, and we have a red, I call it Rhode Island Red vodka. The pink gin is like a deconstructed Angostura bitters and gin cocktail. Angostura has so much going on, and this sort of takes what we could find locally and pink and makes it kind of an herbal.
Yeah, it is very herbal.
Yeah, I forage a lot of what's in there. That's probably my most foraged recipe.
I like that word.
So yeah, so things that were pink. You've got a little jammy with rose hips in there, and some autumn berries, and some jammy and some sour, and then some floral.
Sort of an interesting taste on its own.
Yeah.
And now when you're doing this with gin, are you diluting the alcohol content and kind of adding
You have to get it to a certain proof, and you sell it at that proof. And but yeah, there are three components to this. There's the distillation, there's the vapor, or there's the compounding.
Okay.
And this one has all three.
And so it's not a liqueur per se. It is still a gin. But it's got an infusion of.
Right. So liqueur would have much more sugar than a traditional liquor would, and there's no sugar in that at all.
Okay.
And it's neat on its own, or in a rosemary grapefruit cocktail, perhaps.
That sounds nice.
Quite yummy.
Bringing out your England right
yes.
now.
Oh, I love rosemary.
I do. I love rosemary too.
Well, this one's the vodka. If you want to go for the vodka, and I have to warn you, it's smooth.
You have to warn me it's smooth?
Yes, very smooth.
It smells almost like nothing, which is interesting to me. You
is,
really don't get like that kick in your nose.
Well, that's the legal definition of vodka, is something that's odorless and without a characteristic taste.
It is absolutely odorless.
Yep. So we're right on target for that. Our secret ingredient in this, not so secret because I'm telling you, is apple. We put apple in the still, and it makes it really smooth and gives you a nice mouthfeel.
If anyone knows me and I take a shot of anything, I look like I just got punched in the face. So that's saying something, because
very smooth.
That is very smooth.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't have that bite, that kick that you'd normally experience.
No, and it's full proof. It's I think it's at 40 or 42%.
So when you're using apple, how does that, without getting too in depth, I mean, how does apple come into the process of distilling?
Right. So you can make vodka. Actually, gin is the very first vodka, flavored vodka, because the only thing that makes it gin is that it has to have juniper berries in it. And it can have all kinds of other things,
Okay.
Sky's the limit, whatever you want, but it has to have juniper. The vodka you can make from anything, from grapes, from potatoes, from corn, from wheat, from anything. We're using a corn base.
Yep.
It's organic, non-GMO, naturally gluten-free. And then we take that and then we redistill it. It's already been distilled 6 times, and we take that, throw it in the still with some apples, and give it a 7th distillation, and then get it to the right proof so it's not too alcoholic. Because it comes off the still pretty high. I think my last batch came off around 80%.
Whoa, yeah.
Which is 160 proof.
Yeah, that'll just put you right on your butt.
No, not so much. But this one, I started with the name, and my wife and I have had such a fun time with this and tasting is this good? How about this? A little bit, a little more herb, a little less herb, a little bit of this. So we've got a nice complementary palate, and we don't like sweet things. So this has a little sweetness to it.
Yeah.
So everybody who has this, they say, this one's good, this one's good, and then they get to that one, they go, ooh.
Yeah.
And she did it too. The register went right down.
So it's got a lot more of a flavor, probably when you try it after these two.
Yeah. So
you're giving me the official taste.
we started with the red, the
Okay.
Rhode Island Red, and went, what can we do that's local and interesting? And cranberries were an easy reach. But cranberry isn't really enough. It's a little tart, which I like, but I wanted something a little more flavorful. So we went with cherry, and there's rose hips in there, and the secret ingredient, actually in this one and the pink, is a berry called Aronia, which is also known as a chokeberry, and it's kind of the next superfood. So
Watch
it's
out for that.
Yeah, higher than blueberries, and leaves cranberries and blueberries in the dust in terms of what it does.
Okay.
But I take it for its color because it's amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Without adding any additional food coloring, you're not adding red dye.
No,
this
and there's
is the color coming from a berry. That's
no ground up beetles in this, which is normally what makes your red, unless it's chemicals.
ground up beetles.
Yeah,
Nice.
I forget the name of it, but that's what they are.
Why not?
Yep. So this is just tasty, and we want, really, it's an experience, and so I'm glad that you could have a little tasting room experience.
It is.
Our tasting room is so cool. We're right on the river.
Yes, I've heard.
Yeah. You can't really get a drink on the river in Pawtucket or anywhere around there anywhere.
Yeah.
So
It's a nice spot.
yeah, unless you know somebody who lives in one of those lofts, and then you could probably do that there.
That is true. You can go get a drink there.
Right. But in lieu of having friends who have a loft in Pawtucket, you can come down to our place and comfy furniture and a big gas stove and
Awesome.
comfy chairs and Wi-Fi. And we want people to come in and sort of be there and have it like an extension of your living room rather than, warning, there will be no flat screen TVs.
Oh, no TVs.
So if that's
okay.
a deal
I think people are
breaker,
gonna be fine with that.
you can go lots of places.
Yeah, you should go and talk to people and chat with people that you like.
Yeah.
I don't really think any other distilleries that I know have flat screen or tasting rooms even. Well, maybe the beer ones.
I don't
if they're
know.
watching
I don't
games
know.
and things like that.
I
but-
suppose you're right, but we're not a bar. We can't make food, but we can serve food. You
Okay, you can bring your own food, correct? That's
BYOF.
fine. Well, this is the best. I mean, you can bring like cheese and you can bring whatever
we'll
you
have
like.
small plates that
crackers.
somebody else makes,
Okay,
so we
cool.
can't make them,
So
but
you're
we
gonna do your
can
own
sell them.
pop-ups. You shut the crawfish guys.
It's actually Mad Dog Cafe that's bringing in some of our
Nice.
food. So
Oh,
we've got
that's
these
great.
little.
Is that they're a Pawtucket?
Yeah,
local
they're
too?
right in the mill next to us.
Yeah,
so
great.
they're super. But BYOF or we'll have snacks that you can buy or
Okay.
Uber Eats and whatever you want.
So and obviously you're not going to serve food, but you can absolutely serve cocktail versions of all of your things,
Yeah.
which I'm excited about because I think these would make some really neat cocktails.
Yeah, so actually I was trying to work on a grant, a day job, and so I was working on a grant last night, and Kara was working on cocktail concoctions, and she said, so here, chase this one, here, chase this one. I did not get a lot of grant writing done last night.
You had
I'm
a lot of
afraid.
cocktails,
No,
though.
no, it was only a sip at a time. I just sort of gave it up and just went with the cocktail experience for the evening. So.
That's awesome. And so, I mean, let's talk about you're the 6th distillery. I do think this is it's sort of still an untapped, if you will, market in Rhode Island. I think 6 is still a low amount of distilleries.
Yeah, well, there's Newport, there's Sons of Liberty.
There's one in East Providence.
Yeah, White Dog in Pawtucket,
Yep.
actually.
Oh, Pawtucket, okay.
And then I understand one's going in at the steel yard at some point, and they're not open yet.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
6
know.
licenses, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not functioning distilleries at this point.
And there's somebody else who does some distillation, and they package stuff for people, and they don't have a room where you can come and taste things.
Got it.
So I guess we're only like the fourth place you can come into
Go and taste.
Yeah.
And so at that, when you're the fourth, I mean, I think you're still at the forefront considering how big the beer market has expanded here. And you know, I always ask the breweries that come on just sort of what their differentiating points are. So as a distillery, I think that you focus on gin and vodka, which is different than some of the other larger distilleries here. But tell me about, and tell our viewers about what makes Rhode Island Spirits and the Rhodium brand, you know, a separate and better, if anything, from the rest.
I don't think it's better. I think it's kind of like when you have a car dealer, you don't want to be a car dealer at the end of the road in the middle of nowhere by yourself. When you're a car dealer or a distiller, you want to have people who are also doing this work in the area, and it builds tourism, it builds interest. I mean, we've taken trips around New England, sort of mapping where we're going to go, and we'll go through Vermont, we'll stop in New Hampshire, and we'll do this. And so I think it's the circle rises together here. I don't really see this as competition. And frankly, everybody's palate is different. So something that I think is amazing and delicious, you be like, I could live without that. And something that you think is amazing and delicious, I could certainly live without. So I don't really see it as competition. I see it as equal opportunity.
And so you come from a background of, you guys consult, you do a lot
Yeah.
of consulting for nonprofits, but how did you learn all of this? How did you learn all of this about distilling? I mean, putting apples into vodka, I mean.
So we did a lot of reading. We did some apprenticing with some folks, and a lot of experimenting, and you just sort of do it. You just do it. We come from nonprofit backgrounds, and while we still work with nonprofits and have another consulting business with that, because that's paying the bills right now, while we get this thing launched.
Well, this will pay the bills eventually. The vodka alone.
This will pay the bills eventually, I think. So what was the point in there? Your question, my question was what?
Oh,
and
how
I've
you
not
guys,
had anything to drink.
How you learned this much
How
about
we learned
it.
this much? Trial and error, talking to friends. One of our consultants is somebody I've known for years and years, who's been distilling since the late 90s, award-winning. And frankly, the industry is really generous and kind. And we've had conversations with people like, how do you do that? Or how much of this do you use? And people aren't going to give you their exact recipe, but they support you and will answer questions and help you out. So it's been fun.
Well, that's good. That's good to know then.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're in the industry, I can tell that it must be pretty kind.
Well, there's a whole cadre, if that's the right word, of women who are doing the work. And
I love that. I love that that you guys are teaming up and you know.
We're meeting,
wife and wife doing this. I've always wanted to do that. I always thought it would be so fun to have a business with my husband because I like being with him. So why not? Like there'll still be tough days, but
we never could have done this independently. Our skill sets are different and fairly complementary, so that's good, and with some good overlap in that Venn diagram thing. So it works out pretty well. Nice. And we just like to have fun with this. And Kara used to sell. She was marketing in arts and used to sell, millions of dollars of opera tickets in a year for a large company. And if she can sell that many opera tickets, I think we can sell a few bottles of gin and vodka, limoncello, pawpaw vodka.
I'm in total agreement.
Nocino, which is a black walnut liqueur, and I've had to be reeled in because I have so many ideas.
You have too many.
Yes.
You have too many liqueurs.
One at a time, one at a time. So, but that's what's fun is that we'll be able to roll stuff out. We'll be able to do small batches. We'll have things that we always will have, and that's kind of our standard. But I'm looking forward to, one of our ideas is that we have do like for a charity award of some sort, so like an auction, do a profile. We'll make your special gin for you.
That's pretty cool.
And so
gin based on you.
Yeah. So we've got some ideas on how to really reach out and support the local community.
Excellent.
We already have private events with nonprofits that are scheduled in the space. Great. A portion, some of our funding will be guided towards some nonprofits. And really are concerned about the river, the Blackstone Valley River, because we're on it, and it's clean manufacturing rather than what used to happen, which was kind of nasty and foamy and horrible.
It's getting better. It's getting there. It's not there, but it's getting there.
Well, there used to be, 2 fish? They were down to 2 breeds of fish in the river. Now they're up to 23. So it's nice to be a part of clean industry and just making the community a little stronger.
Absolutely. So you guys have your grand opening next weekend, the 9th and 10th?
Yeah.
Correct? Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
So we got to tell people about that before we head off.
Yep, Saturday, Sunday, come on down. Be kind and patient with us as we figure out how to use the point of sale systems and everything else.
It'll be fine. This is
it'll be
very good
fine.
stuff. So I think if you haven't heard of Rhode Island Spirits yet, go to their Facebook page. They've got their events for the opening already outlined. And I mean, the vodka alone is just very, I mean, I don't even drink vodka. It's not my thing. But it is very easy to drink.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to try a cool cocktail, or
Yeah.
if you love vodka, or even if you don't.
Yep, we'll
I mean,
do
try it out.
tastings. You can do tastings, or you can have a cocktail, or both.
Bring your food.
We're only allowed to sell a certain amount of alcohol to a person in a day, so we'll keep an eye on that. But
that makes sense. That makes nothing but sense. Well, Cathy, thank you so much for joining us and for telling us about this awesome new distillery over in Pawtucket. So we hope everybody checks out the Facebook page and also checks out the grand opening this weekend. And then you will be
Next
open.
weekend. Next
Next weekend, yes. The 9th and 10th of March. And you will be open after that for regular tasting hours.
Yep.
So if they can't make it that weekend, they'll be able to try these awesome products going forward into the year. So Cathy, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you coming on, and we hope everybody gets to try out these new spirits because they are pretty fabulous, I have to say.
Thank you, Chelsea. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you there.
Yeah, we'll be back with our last guest in just a couple minutes. Thank you, guys.